Oh yeah, that thing we created last week is quite therapeutic. Okie dokie. So, something like this, quite therapeutic, but not really much room to add an intro. But we could have a tutorial to say, hey, bounce the ball to win a prize or whatever. The goal is to have the ball reach a certain location. But I think I'll use the platformer instead. So let's open Chico. Okay, install Cinemachine. We need to go to our extensions. Package manager. Package manager, and you want to look in the Unity registry. It usually defaults to your own location. Cinemachine. Always read the updates. New UI thing. If we need the Cinemachine menu, it's in the game object menu. Good to know. Okay, that's installed. Oh, you're good. Clear your throat. Okay, once it's installed, what'll I do? I'll clean up my area here. I've got enemies. 2, 3, 4, 5. Right click, empty parent. Cinemachine. So yeah. Here it is. Game object. Now it's in your package manager, and you got to make sure you're looking not just in your project, but in the registry. Defaults to your own project, which is what you already have installed. You want to look online. Oh, and I'm intrigued by this one. Gameplay and storytelling. No. Cinemachine. empty parent. Box crates. So step 2, once you've installed Cinemachine, is to add a virtual camera. Now, if your project's 2D, you want to add a 2D camera, but you can add 3D and 2D cameras into the same scene. Very important, once we install Cinemachine, do not delete your main camera thinking you've made new cameras that are going to replace it. So once you create your first Cinemachine camera, your main camera is going to become what they call the Cinema Brain, the Cinemachine Brain. So without that, none of the Cinemachine stuff will work. None of your extra cameras can function. You'll also notice when you create our first Cinemachine camera, your main camera symbol is going to change ever so slightly. This is because the Cinemachine virtual cameras kind of piggyback on the rendering of the main camera. So do not delete your main camera. Add a Cinemachine camera. Let's go to Game Object, Cinemachine, and you see there are our cameras. Virtual, free look, state driven, blend list, clear shot, dolly camera with track, which is fun because it builds you a little 3D track and you can move the camera around on it. But for this game, because it's 2D, I'm going to add a 2D camera. So I added a Cinemachine 2D camera. And you see the main camera now has this symbol. It is the Cinemachine Brain. Another thing to point out is that now my script isn't working to match my movements, which is a bad thing. That's a con. However, the bad thing comes with a good thing, because Cinemachine also gives you some very easy to control and better cameras. So this CMV cam right here, I could just put my script on it and then it would start following the script that's on the main camera. Cam follow X. But instead, my first camera, which is a 2D camera, I can just give it a follow command and follow Chico. So no scripting required, already built in. I can just put Chico into that slot for follow on my Cinemachine virtual camera. There's Chico. And now it's following with a nice little dampening. It goes up and down. A little bit of dampening. I can control the size. And anywhere there's a value, this is a value we can animate. If you want to zoom in on Chico for whatever reason, get his thoughts, you can. Or you can pan all the way out and see the whole level. You could start the game from very far away and just go, whoa, Chico. And he's gone through and upside down. Yeah. So, simple camera solution. Works in 3D as well. Nice dampening. Oh yeah, we have a Dutch command as well. Dutch angles. And again, your game's still going to function. It just looks like I'm climbing up a hill. Again, all of these are just numbers. If there's a number, we can animate that number or we can animate that value at any point. Bless you. Other fun things you can add. Noise. Remember that video about adding juice to your game? Screen shake. You can add a handheld movement to your camera. So now it's a little bit chaotic. I've got a drunk cameraman following me around now. Goes up and down. Whoa, whoa. 60 wobble. Already built in. And again, these noise things can just be previewed. There's amplitude there. But on 0, no movement at all. On 1, rumble. Again, you could trigger that to go between 0 and 1 at a particular moment in your game. Or so rumble. Again, game's still functioning. Oh my god, we're getting chased by a dinosaur. The drama is there. So yeah, just some settings that you can change without doing anything. No coding, just follow. That's all I said. And a few other things to play with. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to create another virtual camera so I can have something to switch between. When we start the game, I want the camera to switch to a location, maybe give it some intro to the world, or, oh, explain how checkpoints work. A checkpoint will talk to Chico to let him know this is a checkpoint. This will save your progress when you die. And that'll let the player know that they die when they hit stuff, they go back. So my second Cinemachine camera, go to Cinemachine. Again, I'll add another 2D camera. VCam 2. I don't need to make it stand. Oh, I can have it look at something. Yes. So I'll just position my second camera. I wanted to zoom in on the checkpoint, and then a speech bubble appear, or a dialog box that says, oh, this is a checkpoint. You'll be returned here when you die. So you can see I'm still on camera 1, which is the camera following Chico. To switch between one or the other, it's usually controlled through scripting. You do it through priority. The camera with the higher priority is the one that is active. So camera 1 and camera 2, both of the same. If I increase the priority for camera 2, now it is lerping, interpolating between those two locations. If I bring it back lower than 10, it goes back to following the player. So wherever I am in the game, if I'm all the way over here and I bring that priority up, it's going to switch to that other location. Bring priority down, it's going to switch back. So that's a way we could use it to trigger later in the game, because we can just access the component, access the priority, and modify that through maybe an on trigger. You enter a trigger, and it starts the tutorial. But let's do it without scripting first. We'll do the easy way first. So the easy way is to use the timeline and actually time out the events, like in animation, like in Blender. To Window, and in sequencing, you'll find the timeline. Bless you. So like with the animation system, it needs a root object to hold the animation, to hold the sequence. You can pick any object. I could pick a camera, but it's generally a bad idea, because you're like, it's on a camera. Which camera is it? You might end up with 8 cameras. It becomes a pain. Better to make an empty to hold the whole thing, to hold a director component and a timeline asset. The director. That's right. You are Senior Spielberg. Let's create an empty. I will call it camera cutscene controller. Cutscene control. Doesn't matter where it is in the scene, so I know it's there. And then that's the object that I'm going to create my director component on top of. And then anytime I need to modify anything, I'll just know it's this one object here cutscene control. Chico, chico. So I'll skip the scripty bit where this is how you switch using priority. We'll implement that in a moment. This is where we are now. Create an empty game object, add a playable director component, and then we can drag our cameras into the timeline track and adjust the transitions. Create. I have a folder called direction. A whole bunch of different things we can add here. We can add in cued audio. We can blend the audio together to have like music transition from one to the other. There's activation tracks, so we can set things active or inactive, trigger them in the world, all without using any script. We want a Cinemachine track. So right click or use the drop down, Cinemachine track. It's looking for a Cinemachine brain. What is our Cinemachine brain? Thing you shouldn't delete at the start. Cinemachine brain. The main camera, 10 points. Slitherwan. Yeah, the Cinemachine brain. It's giving you a hint with the icon. Good UI design, let you know. Icon's the same. It's probably this. Yeah, your main camera. And now I can just drag my cameras when I want them to trigger on or trigger off. So by default, I think we're going to start with cam 1. And then this is in frames. So how many frames it takes? Let's say it takes 120 frames. Camera 1, cut to camera 2 by dragging the next camera in. And then back to camera 1. And we can add more than one camera track. I'm just putting it all in one for ease. And now if I press play on my game, it's going to run for 120 frames, then cut to camera 2 for 300 frames, and then back to me. I'm running, I'm walking. Oh, we've cut. I'm still in the game, and we're back here. The game can continue. So as long as you need that tutorial to beat, it can cut. Now you notice it cut straight away, one to the other. It didn't blend in between. To add a blend, we just have to have some overlap. So if I cut this in here for this amount of frames, and you can see it's doing the animation, it's going to interpolate between them. We'll have it hold for a while and then take a slow time getting back to me. Or not that slow, 120 frames, pretty fast. Oh, zoom, we're in. And we're back. I can just keep duplicating as I'm doing here. Control D, roll it in, Control D, roll it in, and that'll make for, it's just going to keep jumping back, jumping forward, saying, hey, have you seen this checkpoint? So I'm in. Oh, I've made it. What's up? Then we zoom back out. Oh, 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 oh. And we're back. And then we zoom. Oh, ow, 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 ow. I'm out. And we're back to the checkpoint. And we'll zoom back to me, as you see, transition back. I'll go forward. Oh, I'm going forward. I'm making it. We're back to the checkpoint. You know, you'd really annoy your player. It's like, hey, look at this. Have you seen this? And then we're back to the checkpoint. So you can keep cutting back and forth and add as many cameras as you want. You might want to highlight different things. You enter a room, you want them to see where the object they want is. Where is the key? You zoom into the key for a second, you zoom back out, directing them to look where you want them to look. Okay, let me clear this up. There we go. Okay, going from 1 over to 2, and then back to 1. One thing we haven't done so far is actually give the information, the little speech bubble or talk box or whatever. How fast can I draw this speech bubble? Very fast, I'll wager. Let's use Piskel. Just for the bubble. Okay, create sprites. Resize, let's say 64. Let's put on the mirror mode. Let's get a gray color, maybe a blue color, faded gray blue. For the border. Oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. Oops. Okay, speech bubble done. Export. Save. Oh my gosh. Export. Single image. Yep. Perfect. Import sprite. Yes. Point no filter, pixels per unit. Let's say it's 32. Let's apply. Let's add this into our world. bubble. Oh, can I draw text on this? I might need to make it a UI element. Oh well. 2D objects. Nope. Ah. Hmm. I was looking at the window. I wasn't looking at you. Sorry. Our old friend Figma. Okay, speech bubble ready to go. Figma saves the day. Yet again. I sure do. I love Figma. It's great. Gets me out of so many jams. Oh. That's cool. We can see the message, but it's still there when we go away. We want it to disappear. Could do it through scripting. How, Madeline? How would we do it? I'm not sure either. No, I am sure. And we could use it by setting active, the game object set active, which really just controls this right here. So I select the speech bubble. Active means this is checked on, inactive checked off. We could do that through scripting, but we don't have to. Because in the timeline, we can go ahead and I'll leave play mode. The first track that we can add is an activation track. So like game object set active, true or false, we can use that to set things active or inactive. I'm going to use that on the hi, I'm a checkpoint message. Activation track, it's looking for a game object that we can enable or disable. I want it to be the message to the player, the speech bubble, so I'll drag that in there. And I'll just sync it up to when we're fully at the checkpoint. So we're transitioning, we're moving from the player to the checkpoint, and then speech bubble will be active, and then it'll stop. So easy solution, no code required. Hi, I'm a checkpoint. Disappears and goes back. And then I'm just animating the opacity, the sprite color, so that when it's activated, it'll just play the animation. So now I can press play. I'll run away from the checkpoint to make a more dramatic movement. Run away, Chico, run. Oh, back. I'm a checkpoint. Oh, but it keeps looping the animation. So, yeah, I can fix the animation loop by going to my animator and checking the clip. Total opacity, is it set to loop? I've got speed. There we go. Loop time. Turn that off. Now it zooms. I'm a checkpoint. Disappears and comes back. So, and you can merge 2D and 3D cameras in the scene with Cinemachine. So here I've created a dolly cam, meaning it's going to move on this track around. You can also connect the whole track and make just a circuit, so it's orbiting. In 2D, it's going to look a little strange. Everything's flat, but it'll transition around 600 frames. Let's take a look. So, tutorial stuff. Then I can move back. And then we enter the dolly, and oh dear, everything's confusing. It's backwards land. My controls are reversed. And then it's going to dolly back around. Whoa, we're back. I'm also using the look at command. We used follow before. If you use look at, it's actually looking at Chico the whole time. Oh. And it turns all the way around. Still looking at me. There goes Chico in 3D land, Paper Mario style. Before transitioning back into the main game. So, basics of Cinemachine and what you can do. I will try it in a 3D project as well, just to show, but it works pretty much the same. Follow cam is very nice. But I'll stop the first part of the video there. I'm going to take a short break.